Hi folks, today we will talk about the dollar cycle. The chart that you're seeing is a dollar index chart. Dollar index is nothing but a index of the dollar versus a basket of 6 currencies: Euro, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and 3 others, British pound and a couple of others. These are the significant ones, Euro being the most significant one with weight of more than 40 to 50%. Is the significance of the dollar index is that it is able to give you some very clean, it has very strong inverse correlation with risk of assets. So whenever, and it is very easy to understand this, whenever the dollar is strong, what does it mean? That the dollar is getting accumulated. People, there is more demand for the dollar versus other currencies. When the dollar will go up. Now, when the dollar demand starts, when the dollar goes up, the demand for US assets, dollar assets also goes up. So typically, US markets do well in that time period. When the reverse happens, when the US dollar is weakening versus other currencies, other markets, mostly emerging markets, start to do well. Risk of assets like precious metals, Bitcoin, etc., start to do well. And this correlation is reasonably established. Now, we've had in the last about 5 decades 2 major cycles where dollar index came off: mid 80s to mid 90s cycle. The second was the early 2000s to 2011-12 kind of cycle. And the third cycle has been very recent, where we've started in 2024. And we are just at the cusp of a breakdown of the US dollar index. If that breaks down, let's say goes to 90 or 80, you will find that the 10-year rolling change here also goes down, and the charts of emerging markets and gold are going to fly like a rocket. So these are very established inverse correlationships, and whatever we have seen in the last some time on gold and on several emerging markets, proof of this inverse correlation that is there with the US dollar. So as long as the dollar remains weaker, other markets will do well, and that the US dollar becomes weaker than its current position, so that they are also able to export and increase the manufacturing base in the US. So everything is aligned towards that direction. So there is no case, perhaps, that dollar index will not come down and that emerging markets and precious metals will not go up. So with that sort of background case, now you have to find how to make the best use of this scenario. Thanks.